Oh my god, where do I start? Look, man, I just wanted to talk about MMO Junkie. I just wanted to finish Magus' Bride so I could talk about that. But no, over 100 of you thought, yeah, I'm going to subscribe to this dumbass on the internet. Lovely. And what better way to thank you all for your wonderful contributions to growing this channel than by torturing myself. This is Gamers. Okay, let's rip this bandage off right now. I think that Gamers is a painfully unfunny, soulish cash grab of an anime that commits every mortal sin on how you should not make a romance. This is the kind of shit that drives me to smoke and drink at the same time and ignore everything that's coming. This is the worst anime that I watched in 2017. It's written like nothing, it looks like nothing, it feels like nothing. And I have no idea how it got so popular or got the amount of praise that it's gotten throughout the year.
9 episodes in, Gamers might well be my favorite show of summer 2017. It's not quite as soulful or imaginative as Made in Abyss, but damn it, this show has heart.
Gamers! Watch this one in English. Trust me. An anime about awkward gamers and some of the biggest comedic misunderstandings this side of a romantic comedy. The dub knows its lingo and I felt right at home. Awkward conversations and all.
Was it a good series? Yes, it was a good series. Is it the best? No, it's not the best series. But I do say that it's definitely worth a watch. It's one of the better series of Summer of Anime 2017, and I have truly enjoyed watching it.
I look forward to ignoring all of your hate comments. Let's get this over with. When you first watch Gamers, you probably think one or two things. A, this is going to be a terrible, horrible romance anime, or B, it's going to be a terrible 12-episode ad that you can ignore. And at the beginning, it starts like the former. After all, it definitely sets itself up to be. We have the boring main character who's shit at video games but loves them. He meets boring female character who's more skilled than him, is secretly the president of the school gaming club, and whose only purpose is to be cute and have the great pleasure of being somebody's on the animations team foot fetish. They go to Sad Game Club where they meet Button Masher, the guy who thinks Paladins is better than Overwatch, and the kid who only plays puzzle games in order to find the missing link to his past. And everyone plays actual video games and they're really into them and has fun. There's also another cute girl who's just there to be eye candy, and the semi-man of great culture who's a troll and likes the Persona games. So you're ready to drop the show by episode 2 and brush it off as said ad and move on to something better that came out that season. But episode 3 completely throws that shit out the window and becomes said terrible romance anime that I had mentioned earlier. I want you all to repeat after me. Keep this in mind throughout the rest of the video and as you develop your skills as a creator. A romantic comedy based on misunderstandings is one of the worst rom-coms you can write. One more time. A romantic comedy based on misunderstandings is one of the worst rom-coms that you can write. And the reason for this is because it makes your characters look like ignorant assholes who know nothing about the people that they are trying to pursue, especially when those characters are teenagers who know nothing about life, relationships, but think, oh, they're so ready for one because they're so lonely and being in a relationship is great and not a lot of hard work at all. Now, the reason why an anime like Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun can get away with this is because it's a parody of shoujo anime. The two main characters are never going to hook up, and that's the joke. And the joke is maintained by having strong characters and equally as strong writing, something that Gamers greatly lacks. Keita is a kid who likes video games, is terrible at them, but plays them because they're fun. Okay, fine, whatever. When he's invited to the game club, he declines because he plays games for fun, not for competitiveness. Okay, fine, whatever. So my question is, what the fuck does Karin see in him? Karin outclasses Keita in every way in context of this show. She's cute, popular, and isn't trash at video games. These two only talk to each other briefly twice. They introduce themselves to each other and Keita rejects Karin's invitation to the gaming club. And after being rejected twice, Karin is not only completely smitten with Keita for no reason at all, and even she doesn't know that reason, but she also cries because wah, he wouldn't join my gaming club, boo-hoo, I'm going to go stalk him now. This is supposed to be the good person that I want to see being a relationship, because I don't see that at all. Instead, I see a spoiled, selfish child who does not understand the meaning of the word no. Someone who thinks that she's so entitled to a person's affection that she's going to stalk them and cry until they get that affection. I see a horrible person who does not deserve the love and affection of another human being, and if she's in a relationship with someone, she will emotionally drain that person and guilt trip the hell out of them if they even think about breaking up with her. But that is nothing compared to Agiri and Tasku. Tasku, my dude, one of the only characters with a shred of personality. The troll voiced by the troll. Break the fuck up with Agiri right now and fucking run. Run as far as possible. You said so yourself in episode 1. You're only dating her because she's pretty and stupid, and you want to look cool because you were bullied for being a nerd. And everything about that is wrong. No one should ever date anyone for their personal gain or image. No one should be treated like a trophy. That's sick and unfulfilling. But fuck me if I don't forgive this way of thinking just once, because Agiri is a literal fucking psychopath. Don't believe me, the bitch has pink hair. Honestly, when I look at this chick, I can't help but see Sangwoo's more chill little sister. And as much as I want to rip off Agiri's screaming head, prop it onto a pike, and throw it into a fire, I know better not to fuck with Crazy because she's going to kill me first. Agiri is clingy and possessive. Her world revolves around her boyfriend. She doesn't have a shred of trust for him. Every time she sees him with another girl, she accuses him of cheating and is ready to murder the girl in cold fucking blood because haha misunderstandings. Agiri knows that Tasku doesn't love her. She knows that she's a trophy for him, and she doesn't care because she's the worst kind of crazy. But apparently, gamers think that this way of thinking is okay. Everybody holds hands and looks up at the sky and watches fireworks because I love you. I love you with all of my hormonal, emotional teenage heart. I don't care if I'm your trophy. I don't care if you're crazy. I don't care if I had no interest in you whatsoever. We're only dating because that all started with a misunderstanding because I only wanted to be your friend. I don't care if you stalked me or cried because you think you're entitled to my affection. No, I love you. We were meant to be with each other. But honestly, and this is gonna drive me crazy if I don't say this, but there are two characters in this show that could work out with each other. Keita and Tasku. And I can already hear people saying, oh, Ari, you're such a Fujo, cut that shit out, get that gay shit out of here. These two are totally not dancing to the theme of Persona 4 dancing all night at their wedding. No, I actually mean it. These two could work because these two have chemistry. These two have conversations that it sounds like actual teenagers could have. These two have jokes. Actual funny jokes. They share similar likes and interests, and the show constantly reminds us that they ain't shit. As much as I hate the fact that Tasku is only dating to inflate his ego and that the show says that that's okay, Keita fucking Mufasa's his ass after their first day of hanging out, making Tasku know not to fuck with him. And Tasku isn't afraid to call Keita out on his own bullshit. What I'm saying is, these two are flawed, but they are also compatible because some of the best romances and romantic couples I've seen in anime have human characters who have their own strengths and weaknesses, growing as better people thanks to the support of their loving partner. Good people growing to be better people is one of the reasons why a healthy relationship is the way it is, while a relationship between terrible people holding each other back with a partner in the mindset of them fixing their partner or their partner fixing them is so shitty. When watching these two, I can't help but think about all of the possibilities that could come from a romance focused on these two young men developing a romantic relationship instead of being shackled into a relationship with these smiling plastic figures that we're supposed to call teenage girls. Now, people who have watched this show have probably noticed that I've left someone out, and that's honestly because I didn't want to lump her in with these fucking ingrates. Chiaki is the best character in this show. I would sell my fucking soul to have the power to rewrite gamers around Chiaki. Not only does she have the most personality, but she also isn't caught up in the bullshit misunderstandings between the characters around her. And that's thankfully because the girls outnumber the guys in this show, so someone was bound to be the odd one out. Chiaki to me was the lightest shining hope in a desolate wasteland, a character that I wanted to see more of, but was casted aside and wasted. She's a character that has something that this show doesn't, and that's substance. A girl who's a true and believable gamer through and through, and her love and passion for gaming led her to pursue game development and publish indie games that she made by herself under a pen name. But her games doesn't go so well, and when she's ready to give up, a player comes and leaves her positive feedback. They are her light and what makes her continue to pursue her dream. Chiaki later finds out that that player is closer to her than she thinks, a boy that she humorously dislikes because he loves Moe and she doesn't. And although it's implied that her female friend who's single has feelings for the boy, and over time him back to her, she doesn't see it as she hopelessly grows feelings for this boy. And when she comes to terms with those feelings, it's too late. The boy has never noticed her and pursued another girl, one of her closest and few friends, and she takes the heartbreak out through her gaming and art. Imagine if that was Gamers, the story of a high school age girl with a dream that she almost loses time and time again, but the romantic subplot saves her in more ways than one. Through heartache and break, that girl continues to play and make video games, while also letting teenage feelings and emotions serve as the drama in her life. A funny, clever, relatable, young, nerdy lady who has loved video games for years, and her broken heart motivates and moves her to a future that she's almost given up on. And in the end, she decides that a relationship isn't for her at the moment, and there will always be others out there for her to pursue. She lets her friends be happy, and she's happy for them. No, we need a show with characters just thrown together and told to get along, or it's the fucking timeout corner for you kiddos. You each gotta fall for each other and use your gimmick as gamers in order to make Daddy Original Creator, the light novel, and Uncle Pine Jam money. These figures of cute female characters aren't going to sell themselves. I need a break.
And now for something completely messed up.
Hey, are you upset?
I am not upset.
Okay, I want to take a moment from being really pissed off to talk about the only good thing that this show does, give credit where credit is due, and avoid all the comments asking why I didn't talk about this. The dub to Gamers fucking saves this show. Oh, how I secretly love it when the English has to fix the mistake of the Japanese. Because the dub to Gamers does something that the original writers and creators and Japanese staff completely failed to make me do. It made me laugh. It made me smile. It made me get through this fucking nightmare. Half of what makes this dub so good goes to the absolutely amazing writing from ADR scriptwriter Patrick Seiss, who's no stranger to nerd culture and writing great dubs. And Patrick really had his work cut out for him because Gamers is almost unrecognizable between a sub and dub. The script is very joke and reference heavy, but this dub can get away with it because apparently this show was supposed to be funny and about gamers. Remember at the beginning of the video where I talked about the kid who only plays puzzle games in order to find the missing link to his past? That was a line from the actual dub. What about a character like Chiaki, who's a total hardcore nerd and gamer? What would she rather say when talking about how much she hates Keita? That she hates him just as much as an idol being casted in an anime but clearly doesn't care about the show? Or that she hates him so much that if they were in a certain kart racer game and he was in first place, she would hit him with a flying blue shell of doom? Or how about having Keita, a very nerdy, antisocial, clumsy boy, screw up introducing himself to a pretty girl by saying F my class, I mean I'm in class F. This is the kind of dialogue that Patrick gives these kids. Funny, reference-filled nerd humor that only nerds will say and understand. He writes these characters better than the show writers did because he actually cares and knows what he's doing. But again, all of the credit shouldn't just go to Patrick for how this dub turned out to be. This was ADR director Kristen McGuire's first solo directing project, and she cast actors that fits their roles perfectly. The biggest problem that I had with the voice acting of the show in the Japanese end is that Keita is played by a woman. This teenage boy whose balls have clearly dropped is played by a chick who's trying painfully hard to sound like a teenage boy. Christian decides to cast Brandon McGinnis, and this is his first ever leading role. And Brandon fits the role perfectly because he has a very light and young voice that makes him sound like a young teenage boy. Not to mention that he's also pretty funny in this show. I will argue not as funny as his role in Nambaka, but still pretty funny, and he has some really good chemistry with two of the other voice actors in this show. It's really nice to hear Brittany Karbowski in a Funimation dub again. The last Funimation dub I heard her in was Red Garden, and that show came out in 2006. But she and Brandon doesn't have the same chemistry with each other than Brandon has with Marissa Linty and Cliff Chapin. Cliff Chapin as Tasku is perfect in this role because Tasku is a giant troll And Cliff Chapin is a giant nerd that voices Bakugo, so that should be enough information for you. And once again, he and Brandon have some really strong chemistry with each other, which adds on to the reason why I think Keita and Tasuku are a better couple for each other. And I heavily prefer Marissa Linty's Chiaki over the Japanese, because Chiaki has a very tomboyish design, and the Japanese voice actor makes her sound too feminine. Marissa Linty is able to do both. See Nambaka for reference, where she also worked with Brandon McGinnis in that role. But fuck me with Tia Ballard. Girl, I love you. I really do. But oh my god, Aguri in the dub is so much worse than in the sub. Tia has done high pitch before. She was in My Love Story. She played the main character in that and she sounded fine. But where the character in My Love Story was just the right amount of high pitch, Aguri is through the fucking roof. And the amount of grating it did on my ears listening to her performance really made me hate the character even more than I already did. Again, Tia, I love you, but I really hated your performance here. Yeah, so I'm done. I'm done thinking about this garbage. I'm done talking about this show. I just want to wash my hands of it forever and never, ever, ever hear another goddamn thing about Gamers again, because I really fucking hate this anime. And it sucks. It really, really sucks for me, because I do not like being that person who goes, your favorite anime sucks and here's why, because it actually really does suck. But this is also a prime example of why I don't like talking about terrible media, because I don't like wasting my time on it. I don't like making videos like this. I just want to get it over with and be done with this so I can move on to something better. Because here's the thing, you as a consumer deserve better. You do not have to support a terrible anime with terrible themes and messages. There's so much more out there that you could be watching right now. If you want to see actual believable gamers doing what they do best, go watch Log Horizon or The King's Avatar. If you want to see a relationship between two people brought together in unconventional ways, go watch Recovery of an MMO Junkie. Or if you want to see a show about people trying to blurt out their adorably dumbass crushes for each other, go watch Dekigai no Honya-san, Momokuri, or the aforementioned Nozaki-kun. Hell, if you want to see a terrible toxic relationship done in a tasteful and respectful way, go watch Nana, but just be warned that ending is anime only and really not that good. But don't watch and support media that puts no goddamn effort into it. You deserve better. Spend your time and money on better, not fucking this. And before I go and cap this video off, I want to get really serious. You do not deserve to be treated like a trophy or an item or an object. You do not deserve to be emotionally drained by your partner. It is not your job to fix anyone. It is not your job to be fixed by anyone. You are not entitled to a person's affection. You are not entitled to be possessive and clingy of that person. You are not entitled to a person just to inflate your image or do other horrible things to them. And if you or anyone that you know are in a relationship like this, run. Leave that person right now and go to someone who loves you and will support you physically and emotionally. I just want to talk about MMO Junkie. I'm gonna go watch Yuru Camp.